Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Friday, December 8th. Kofi wants to play me, so if he will send me a friend request, I will play him. Hopefully he's on the Americas account. Otherwise I would need to jump over to a different account. I guess in the meanwhile, while we're waiting for him to send a challenge or respond on the chat, we can open this pack that I've been sitting on. And 2 epics. With this newest expansion, I was getting a lot of double epics per pack. I assume that means that there's just more epics in the new expansion than normal. Kofi says he's on European. Alright, that is fair enough. So I will switch to the European server. That I've got work to do on that. That means I will come back and probably play my secondary account in the post-show to get these victories. I need to probably speed up this process. I have a lot of news to do still, but it's not the most substantive news, if that's the right way to pronounce that word. It's mostly
where have your journeys taken you?
Uninteresting short blurbs, but I've got a lot of them. For instance, NVIDIA released a Volta-based Titan 5 for PC. It is $3,000 video card. Let's see, what do I have to do to play? Oh, I haven't done the Tavern Brawls either. I need to play 30 minions that cost 2 or less. Alright, Kofi, send me a request now. I'm on the European account. And while he's sending me that request, I will accept it. And I'll hope I know which one was the one with the Murlocs that I built recently. Let's take this rogue one. Let's see if that is the one. I doubt it. So, who's gonna spend $3,000 on a video card except for some kind of Bitcoin miner?
Valera versus Jaina.
Let's see, the Titan.
You asked for it.
5, the Titan V versus the GTX 1080 Ti, which I think is probably a fair comparison. See, Titan V is built on the 12 nanometer processor, but the nanometer process actually is more of an advertising thing at this point than an actuality. It has 21.1 billion transistors versus 12 billion for the Titan Ti. It's seemingly almost double the size for the die, so it's bigger. It probably will produce more heat. It has 5,120 CUDA cores versus 3,584 CUDA cores. I don't know if I should do this.
Job's done.
Let's see. The base clock here's a metric you actually know. The base clock for the Titan 5 is 12,000 megahertz, whereas it's 1480 on the 1080, so the 1080 is better. The boost clock is 1455, whereas the Titan Ti is 1582, so the Titan 1080 Ti is still better. So they're actually selling you a dud here, if I was to guess.
Here we go.
Let's see. The VRAM speed is 1455. Titan 1080 Ti is faster. The VRAM speed is 1700 for the Titan V, whereas it is 11,000 for the 1080 Ti. So unless that's a typo, that's way faster. I'm just gonna skip through a lot of this. Somehow, though, just with the larger amounts of, I guess, CUDA cores, the gigaflops when boosted is 14,899 versus the 1080 Ti, which is 11,340. But the comparison is pretty clear. This $3,000 video card is in no way worth three times as good as the $700 retail price of the Titan 1080 Ti, GTX 1080 Ti. No way worth it. This is a huge ripoff of a video card. The only people that should buy that is if you have to have 4 or 5 of them in your machine, and you want an improvement and maybe a render farm. If you're making the next Disney movie, that would make sense to buy these. When money is no object and you can just write it off towards the production budget of the next Disney movie, that makes sense. But anybody else, any realistic gamer, Titan 1080 Ti, GTX 1080 Ti, I keep saying the wrong name, is probably, even that is probably a little too much for the price. I would suspect you'd be better off buying a 1070, but a 1080 would be fine. Right now I have a 970, so it would be an upgrade to go to a 1080, and then upgrading from the 1080 to a 1080 Ti is yet another upgrade. Let's see. Here's a game. Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth is now available for smartphones in Japan. I'm still a little iffy on covering smartphone games, but Ace Attorney is sort of well known. Let's see. I'm starting to think that half of my half of the tabs I have open are just duplicate tabs, which is possible. I've been working rather hard and forgetting things that wouldn't be beyond my normal activities when I overwork myself and undersleep. See, Beyond Good and Evil 2 has some character shifts and story details. Let's see. Seems like this is a Eurogamer article. There's some pictures of some ships and some, I'm sure, some stories they're talking about. Let's see. I don't think that was my Warlock deck. Come to think of it now. Maybe this was my Warlock deck. Let's try Custom Paladin too, if Kofi wants to play again. If he doesn't, that's fine too. I will have to cut off Kofi after a third game though, because I just got so much that I have to do with the new solo adventure. And there's no way to friend somebody and do a friendly challenge on the solo adventure. Also, I think I have to do all the tavern brawls, which, that's gonna be a nightmare. There's a game called Omen of Sorrow that has a time-limited demo that launches December 18th. It's a PlayStation experience. Nope. A PlayStation game. I want to see this game. It looks like a side-scrolling, sideways fighter game.
Pass. You shall not pass.
But maybe not. maybe it's a sideways brawler game? No, this looks like a fighting game. It's a robust single-player experience according to the trailer. It looks good. It looks like a new version of a Darkstalkers game. Let's see. Kofi says this is my last game. Okay, that's fine. A lot of the people who came on chat have gotten busy and not been on chat, so I've really failed to have any fun conversations for about at least a month now, and helping people and having people help me do the daily quest is also fallen to the wayside, and it's kind of a shame that is the case. Let's see. Yeah, Ominous Sorrow seems like it might only be a PlayStation game, unfortunately. Because that's yet another one that I'd be interested in playing. Job's done. I suppose I could get a PlayStation 4 and get a capture box and play that at some point in the future. Let's see, PC Gamer had some quote-unquote deals where you could get
Don't forget to tip the car.
Sales because of the Game Awards. And where are these taking you? They're taking you to eBay. Yeah, I don't know if I would buy a monitor from eBay. Filthy. Let's see. Deal 3 damage on cars. Let me play this one certainly, and this one, so I can get the daily quest done. Let's see, there's a Gigabyte GTX 1070 Ti 8GB card for $465, and you get regularly $490 on eBay. Again, I don't know if I want to buy things on eBay though, particularly video cards.
The light protects me.
For the crusade!
Wow, I opened up the Bayonetta article no less than 5 times. I was so excited on it. There's a game called The Moonfields that PC Gamer is basically just doing an advertisement for. It's a brawler inspired by Smash Brothers and the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. It's still in early development, so there's really nothing to even say about it. It's kind of just a waste of everybody's time. Finally, here we go. Video Game Awards winners, so we can read off the award winners. Game of the Year was The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild versus Horizon, Persona 5, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and Super Mario Odyssey. I don't feel like Super Mario Odyssey was given a fair chance there, because it should have won, in my opinion, having not played Zelda or Mario.
I fight.
Best Game Direction was The Legend of Zelda versus Horizon Zero Dawn, Resident Evil 7, Mario Odyssey, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Again, they really love Zelda. Best Narrative was What Remains of Edith Finch versus Hellblade: Sesuna's Sacrifice, Horizon Zero Dawn,
cleanse the Sunwell.
Nier Automata, and Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. I would have to play What Remains of Edith Finch, but I kind of feel like Nier Automata should have won that. And maybe it was just too Japanese, too weird of a story for the people who voted. Yeah, weird Japan is a double-edged sword sometimes.
Reporting for duty.
Cool Japan. Job's done. Best art direction, Cuphead versus Destiny 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, Legend of Zelda, and Persona 5. Cuphead, I think, deserved to win that. Best musical score or music, Cuphead, Destiny, Legend of Zelda, Nier Automata, Persona 5, and then Odyssey, and Nier Automata won that one, so at least they got one award. Best audio design, that doesn't. That's a tough difference there. It's like, what was the best music and what was the best audio that wasn't music? And the winner there is Hellblade Sesuna's Sacrifice versus Destiny 2, Legend of Zelda, Resident Evil 7, and Mario Odyssey. Best performance is an interesting one because they didn't do a split here based on gender, and I feel like this is going to inherently be unfair to male voice actors. Just the idea of a male voice which is deeper and less warm and less welcoming is not going to be voted on as much as female voices. And so in the nominations you even see that. You have Ashley Birch for as Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn, Claudia Black as Chloe Fraser in Uncharted Lost Legacy, Laura Bailey as Natalie Ross in Uncharted Lost Legacy, Melina Jorgens as Sesuna in Hellblade Sesuna's Sacrifice, and then one male voice actor, Brian Bloom, as BJ Blazkowicz in Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. And the voice performance for BJ Blazkowicz is completely different from all these other characters. And Melina Jorgens won, and she came on stage either wearing a mocap suit or a biking outfit. I could never do. Sadly, Kofi has said his battery has died and he can't play. Let's see. This is new. Waiting for the opponent to reconnect. 0 seconds. You may go to the options menu and end the game. The match is just paused. Wow. Kofi has unintentionally shown off a new feature of the game. Let's see. Yeah, Kofi says, Rydo, my battery's dead, so I'll never make my move. And I guess that means I win by default. Sorry. End the game. And that, because I ended the game, means defeat. But that's fine enough. I got that daily quest done. So, Cavern Brawl. That's something we need to do. Charge minions on one side and taunt on the other. So, we need to just pick something rather quickly. Let's do beasts. And then do a bunch of charge minions in the first place. Wait. Oh, you can only have 10 cards. Interesting. You can only have one of each card. There we go. Let's see how that works. Kofi says bye. Okay, bye Kofi. Thanks for playing. Next for the Game Awards we have Games for Impact. Games for Impact is basically... I want to say it's basically who was the best social justice warrior of the year. I'd like to be a little bit more kind to it and say maybe it's It's gaming for a cause, but if the cause was something that was not the predominant liberal, extremely liberal left-wing causes that most of the people in the game industry ascribe to, then it wouldn't get nominated at all. So I can't be really any generous there. And on the level of professionalism, again, I think they are better off not having a category like this. The nominees for Games for Impact were Bury Me My Love, which is, again, nobody's heard of. That I think takes place in like a war zone in one of the Middle Eastern countries. Let's see. Left have charge, right have taunt. So this to do this. This to do job done. The next one was Hellblade's Tsushima Sacrifice. Hellblade's Tsushima Sacrifice having a cause because they tried pretty well to make a good representation of somebody with mental problems, which I don't really object to. If anything, I kind of object to the game itself just not being that long and that good. Life is Strange Before the Storm. I'm not even sure so much if Life is Strange Before the Storm is really SJW-y or if it's not just weird. I'm not sure what Night in the Woods covers that's for Impact to change, but it's the same. Please Knock on My Door, never heard of it. And then What Remains of Edith Finch, I guess that has something it says about too. And then the winner was Hellblade's Tsushima Sacrifice. Honestly, it's really a category that does not need to exist. It feels like a bad idea just to even go down that path. Let's see, next is the best ongoing game, and ongoing I guess means it's a game like that's always online. So Destiny 2, Grand Theft Auto, Overwatch, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, Rainbow Six Siege, and Warframe. Two of those do not deserve to be even nominated and were probably put in there because they were paid to be in. The winner was Overwatch. I think Overwatch probably is the right choice for best ongoing game, but again, not a category that probably needs to exist. If your game isn't the best game of the year, that's it. Or if you're gonna do something like that, break it down into categories. Overwatch would clearly win best online first-person shooter or team-based first-person shooter if you had a category like that, and then you could nominate a lot more games by saying this was the best this was the best action game, this was the best sports game, this was the best I don't know why I chose that one actually. This was the best strategy game. Anyways, moving on. The best mobile game. Again, too broad a category. The options were Fire Emblem Heroes, Hidden Folks, Monument Valley 2, Old Man's Journey, and Super Mario Run. Which almost certainly there are tons of better mobile games out there that are just not getting covered. Should I play this and play this?
Job done.
The winner for best mobile game was Monument Valley 2, I guess, whatever. But then here's the weirdness. There's a category for best handheld game. What's the difference between a mobile game and a handheld game? Just the operating system. And clearly this is a Nintendo paid for category because every freaking game in this category is on a Nintendo system or published by Nintendo. Your choices are, for best handheld game, Ever Oasis, Fire Emblem Echoes, Metroid Samus Returns, Monster Hunter Stories, and Pokey and Yoki's Woolly World. Like, ridiculous.
I wonder.
Sure, give this one poisonous.
I don't have enough mana.
So the winner for best handheld game was Metroid Samus Returns, but that is a rigged competition if I ever saw one. And again, if you want the video games to be respected, you can't have rigged awards. So obviously rigged awards at least. Next category is best VR game. Fallout, no, Farpoint. Lone Echo, Resident Evil 7, Star Trek Bridge Crew, and Super Hot VR. I doubt very many people should legitimately even been allowed to vote in this category. How many people even had a VR system? But Resident Evil 7 wins, and I imagine that's a fine choice. It could have been Star Trek Bridge Crew, but that's probably not that good of a game. It's just a fun game to play with a bunch of Star Trek nerds. And Super Hot VR it's probably not quite as good as Resident Evil 7, but I don't think Resident Evil 7's VR elements are that good anyways. And here we have now everything I was talking about, best action game, and that goes to Wolfenstein 2 when all of the options were the same main games that were nominated for everything else: Cuphead, Destiny 2, Neo, Prey. I suppose Neo is one game that didn't make Game of the Year. Best action adventure game, that requires some explanation, honestly. And the options there were Assassin's Creed, Horizon Zero Dawn, Legend of Zelda, Mario Odyssey, and Uncharted, Zelda 1. Best RPG, options there were Divinity, Final Fantasy 15, Nier Automata, Persona 5, and South Park. And Persona 5 actually won, which is a little surprising. Now this trilogy has a chance of actually winning. If I can get this guy on the field and then start killing these things. Best fighting game, the options are ARMS, Injustice 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Nidhogg 2, and Tekken 7. And I'm a little surprised that the winner is Injustice 2. I would have thought Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite or Nidhogg or even Tekken 7 would have won, or even ARMS. Like, my last pick on the having not really played any of these games, my last pick would have been the Injustice 2 one. Best family game, the options are Mario Kart, Mario and Rabbids, Sonic Mania, Splatoon 2, and Super Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey 1, which I believe that's the only Super Mario Odyssey game to win at all. Which, that is slightly concerning. So I'm gonna have to balance this out. Or just let the guy take the loss. so Tavern Brawl done now. We've got a card pack to open. I opened a lot of classic card packs, as well as not that many new expansion card packs for this deck, for the European account. And I think that was probably the right move. Now, this account in particular feels like it has that opportunity to actually build some decks and actually be playable and get some victories. Yeah, as far as the Kobolds and Catacombs cards, these might be the only ones I even got. No, that they aren't. But lots of things there. We got a decent number of Kobolds and Catacombs cards, but not a ton. So my last thing I need to do is begin a dungeon run, and then win a defeat 5 dungeon bosses, and then defeat 10 more dungeon bosses. So this
what is this? I am
a lot of stuff I have to do.
Steel, torches,
skip
go back! Big piles of loot for me, not you. Many monsters. Who is daring to come for kobold treasures? Sword swinger, sparkle flinger.
I don't think I've played Hunter, so I'll try that one. Now I need to get all 9 of the hero classes done on my America's account to see if it gives any reward before I spend the extra effort to get any of it done on the European or Asian account.
Let the hunt begin.
So yeah, best family game winner was Super Mario Odyssey versus Mario Kart 8, Rabbids, Sonic Mania, Splatoon 2. Yeah, I think that was worth. Best strategy game was Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
But so is you.
Over Halo Wars 2, Tooth and Tail, Total War, and XCOM 2. Honestly, I think XCOM 2 War of the Chosen is much more, has gotten a lot more coverage, positive coverage, so it probably should have won. The next category is Best Sports. You have Gran Turismo Sport, you have FIFA 18, Forza Motorsport 7, and NBA 2K18, Pro Evolution Soccer, and Project Cars 2. And the winner was Forza Motorsport 7. I'm not sure any of the sports games actually deserve anything. Deserve to be mentioned, even. Let's see, can we do this and win? Yes. Just take that. Good. Next we have Best Multiplayer Game, Call of Duty World War II, Destiny 2, Fortnite, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and Splatoon 2. And there's no winner mentioned here. At all. So, I have no clue who would have won, but I would guess Destiny 2 would deserve it, maybe Mario Kart 8.
Oh, big treasure. You is picking one. Only one. Make good picking.
Let's see, at the start of your turn, draw 2 cards, your weapons cost 1 less. I don't have any weapons, so I'm going to start with the turn drawing 2 cards.
Cards you are picking now. Cards for being in your dungeon deck.
Let's see. Do I want some legendaries later on? It's a little too early to be picking legendaries. So I kind of have to take shots.
One dungeon run is to be fighting 8 monsters. One for
Next
each
we have
finger.
most anticipated game, God of War. Man, there's been no coverage of God of War in a long time. Last of Us Part 2, Monster Hunter World, Red Dead Redemption, and
Let the
Spider-Man.
hunt begin.
And the winner was Last of Us Part 2. I imagine that's correct. Best independent game. That's always hard to define what actually makes a game independent, or what you really mean by that. The options were Cuphead, Hellblade, Night in the Woods, Pyre, and What Remains of Edith Finch. Cuphead wins. So Cuphead got a couple of victories and probably
As
deserved
you
it.
be getting stronger,
Best student
monsters
game.
be getting
This one was
stronger.
very interesting when they
Pecuniary
covered it
elasticity is an
because
important part of Kobold
they
Empire
didn't-
mixed market economic doctrine.
they didn't really show off these student games enough so that you'd even know what they were about. But the options were Falling Sky, From Light, Hallowed, Impulsion, and Level Squared, and Meaning. And the victory, the success went to a game called Meaning. Not Meaning, Level Squared. But does that mean anything to anybody? No, not really. The next category is Trending Game, which I don't feel... Trending Gamer. Oh, that's even worse. Let's see. Snipe. Or deal 2 damage. Stealth. Explosive trap. Just play
My side.
Oh, this one's gonna die. And this one's gonna die. So the Trending Gamers was a guy named Andrea Renee, I guess that's maybe a girl, Clint Lexa, who is half coordinated, Andrea Renee from What's Good Games, Clint Lexa from Half Coordinated. I assume maybe that's not. It may not be the name.
That's not a valid target.
Let's see. Snipe and attack. Guy Barham from Dr. Disrespect. Mike Grzelski from Shroud. And Steven Spotting from Able Gamers. And I don't... Besides Half Coordinated, I don't recognize any of these gamers. And I guess that's fine. And that just shows the weirdness and how not popular even the most popular people really are. And as a YouTuber in particular, I don't watch that many other streamers. The guy who won as far as trending was Guy Barron from Dr. Disrespect. Next category is Even Dumber, Best Esports Game, Counter-Strike, Dota, League of Legends, Overwatch, and Rocket League. Overwatch wins. Next is Even Dumber, Best Esports Player, and let's see. The options were Yihong, Rihong Ru, Kuraki, Shell, Takashomi. I'm gonna mispronounce all of these people's names, by the way. Lee Sung, Hyuk Faker, Mikado, Colzera, David, and Nico Kovic. And the best esports player is Lee Sung, Hyuk Faker.
Be winning more fights, be taking more loots is Kobold way.
Let's see, do I want more defense and destruction? Or do I want some legendaries? Or do I want this? I'll take that. Next game is the best. Next category is best esports team. Options are Cloud9, FaZe Clan, Lunatic Hall, SK Telecom 1, and Team Liquid. Cloud9 wins.
begin.
Again, categories that shouldn't exist.
I claim these treasures for the light.
honestly. Best debut indie game. Here's another category that shouldn't exist, because how is best debut indie game any different than best indie game when you should only be giving awards to games that came out during this year? All of them should be debut indie games, unless you're saying that there was some kind of sequel indie game that you plan on giving an award to. And honestly, since that's not even the case in this year, they should have just had they should just later on make a category called Best Independent Sequel. Or you could have made a category called Best Independent Sequel this year and thought about it and given it to something that maybe deserved it. Not that there are that many independent sequels that came out this year, if any. But the options for Best Debut Indie Game is Cuphead, Golf Story, Hollow Knight, Mr. Shifty, and Slime Rancher. I almost wonder if it's intentional, if it means like the debut of...
To my side!
Job's done. The debut of the company, not the debut of the game. Either way, Cuphead won, and it's a little unsurprising. Job's done. And then finally, here's a category that just goes to show how important the Chinese market is to the video game industry, or at least they think it is to the video game industry. Job's done. So best Chinese game, the options are Gumballs, Icy, I-C-E-Y, which I do believe that one came out in around the world. I'm not sure what it is though. Let's see, let's Google something.
Let the pain speak to me.
It looks like a RPG, and I guess this is a Chinese RPG type game. I'll look that up some more. JX3 HD, King of Glory, and Monument Valley 2, and I guess Monument Valley 2 is technically a and the winner was JX3 HD, and that seems just kind of arbitrary since I don't know any of those games. The coverage of the Game Awards, I guess that was fine, but the Game Awards themselves kind of a mess. Let's see. Snipe. And win.
It was meant to be.
I'm leaving a lot of tabs open as I'm closing a bunch too, just because there's so much to do. Now I got this wish before: fill your board with legendary minions, fully heal your hero. For the 10th turn, that's probably not going to happen. Choose a minion and summon a copy of it, add it to your dragon deck. Your dungeon deck. Take control of an enemy minion and add it to your dungeon deck. So, take control or make a mirror. For one more mana, taking control is better, because that deprives them of one. Deal 2 damage to a minion and the minion next to it, and deal 3 damage. Weapons, do I need more weapons? No. Adapt. Yes, Vicious Fledgling. That's what I would love. So the Vanishing of Ethan Carter developer has this new dark fantasy called Witchfire.
Versus that of
first-person shooting game. The trailer is rather deceptive because it doesn't show the gun or the enemies
of the shadows.
until later on, and about well over half of the entire duration of the trailer. You have magic in one hand and bullets in the other, so it's kind of like BioShock in a weird way. Come to think of it, yeah. Yeah, so a kind of spiritual successor to BioShock in Witchfire. Hopefully it comes out good. Cyber Dimension Neptunia 4 Goddesses Online launches February 28th. It includes Japanese and Chinese subtitles. PC version. That's what I'm talking about. You can head over to the Steam page. Let's see. The new trailer for the Death Stranding was crazy. If anybody hasn't seen it yet, I think I want to speed this up. I still have a lot of work to do. What's this done? Turn a friendly menu into your hand. Sea of Thieves launches March 20th on Xbox One and Windows 10 for $10. Interesting. I thought it was going to be a lot more expensive of a game. I thought all of these pirate games that were going to come out were going to be weird. Job done. Now I'm watching this trailer for Sea of Thieves. The problem with Sea of Thieves, it seems, is it's going to require you to play with a lot of other people. So even at $10, I'm not sure it's going to have that friend base that you would want. Let's see, I want to hold off this until the perfect thing is ready. Job's done. Fade to Silence, a survival game, was announced. I'm not sure. It's THQ's game. And again, I'm worried about THQ announcing way too many games. Green Fury. Could have done adjacent minions too. So let's not do that right now. Yeah, Fade to Silence very well might be a game kind of like Rise of the Tomb Raider, set in a snowy area, hunting with a bow. Might very well work in similar ways, although Rise of the Tomb Raider kind of gets away from the survival aspect. Here's an article. Former Microsoft marketing veteran Kevin Unagast has joined Stardock. Stardock, I believe, is the people who bought the rights to Atari, according to this. Deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. Can I play this and this? Nope, so I'll have to do this.
The eternal hunt has begun.
So, a marketing guy is part of the company that's just reselling the same Atari games over and over again.
Behind me.
And that doesn't really mean anything, though. There's a larger argument I might have someday talking about just how odd and kind of pathetic it is that there's this ability where somebody can just buy the rights to something they didn't even create and sell it forever, even though they've done nothing but sat on the assets and the creations of another artist. Like, I certainly get we want to in some way have creative artists be compensated or be allowed to continue to create and live comfortably. But when you're a non-acting entity, when you're just basically a patent troll, or the equivalent of a patent troll in my opinion, by buying something you didn't make and then charging all of society, making society's resources fewer than before, because you're charging for something you didn't create, you're taking away from society, not adding to it. And that's part of the reason why we have things like public domain, and unfortunately the concept of public domain has been eroded through lobbying terribly. Like, clearly, if the people who made Palm are either dead at this point, which they might be, or not receiving any royalties, which nobody in the video game industry at all, to my knowledge, has ever received a royalty, not in its entire lifetime, then Pong should just be in the public domain. It should be free to all of society, and it would benefit society better that way. Let's see if we can make a cheap card. Like a really cheap card here. Nope. Didn't succeed there. Oh, I guess it didn't matter though. There's a trailer for a game called Unavowed, which is an urban fantasy. Is that what they're calling this? It looks like kind of a point-and-click adventure, but it seems like you're doing a little bit more than point-and-clicking. Instead, you're working with a team of differently skilled magic people. Let's see. And I need 2 more victories. Let's go. Snipe. Professor Putrid. And play more secrets to improve this. I think we will probably want to take that, unless we want to take an earlier move. I think we'll take the secrets. So I guess I'll keep an eye out for Unavowed. There's no information really. Ryan Reynolds was cast as Pikachu in the live-action Pokemon movie, so that'll be slightly interesting. Again, though, that is another instance of a video game voice actor losing out a job because they just wanted a fancy name to put on it, and hopefully Ryan Reynolds does a good job, but he probably won't do as good as somebody whose entire career is voice acting.
Jinzo got big plans for you.
This is a new one. I haven't seen this boss before. Let's see, what is he? His passive ability is all battle cries trigger twice.
Job done.
So we shall see how that works. Pokemon Go has added dynamic weather-based gameplay and 50 Generation 3 cards. And so if anybody's still playing Pokemon Go, I'm sure they're happy about that. Ubisoft Rainbow Six Siege has passed 25 million players. Let's see. Otami Hero launches mid-December in Japan. I want to watch some of these trailers because I haven't heard anything about Otami Hero. Stealth. No, I want to play this right now.
Job's done.
Let's see.
What? They fell off a
Trailers.
truck.
It's a cell phone game. It's a cell phone action game, maybe with some cards. And that's why I haven't heard of Otami Hero. Okay. Come on, Wind Fury. Let's see. Go ahead and play this. Attack. Gundam vs. DLC has a mobile suit for Aegis Gundam and GM Sniper 2. So I assume Gundam vs. Is already out, and this is just DLC under the name Mobile Suits. I guess that's the name of it. This. Come on, Wing Fury. Yes. Come on, Stealth next turn. No, can't do that, but I can do +3 health.
Job's done. Yes, this one speaks Shinso's language.
Ooh, this activates twice, so I had double the chances of winning and I still lost. Interesting.
Engaging TC-130 Mental Dislocator.
A game called GQ Powerful Pro Baseball 2018 has a website. It's due out in Japan in 2018. It looks like baseball with some cutesy, like, round characters. Kind of like Mario and Nintendo Wii characters or something. I don't even know what the right description would be. Let's see. This. I'm gonna have to make a sacrifice here. Divine Shield. Yep. +3 attack or stealth until the next turn. I'll take stealth. I'll get rid of the first one. And that, and I think I got victory. This game could come over to the West easily. It probably would want to come over under a different name, but it looks kind of fun. Like, they're gonna try to get on to baseball. Apparently they're playing baseball on a cruise liner, which is an interesting move. Let's see. Legendary. Shuffle a mine into your opponent's deck. I will steal this just to add it to my collection. And then why not do this? So, interesting. Creators of the game Star Control have accused Stardock of publishing games without permission. And wasn't Stardock just the company that owns Atari games? So, double your starting health is clearly the right move. Start with an extra mana crystal, not really. Your minions that cost 5 or more cost 5. Double your starting health. This means I might actually win all the way to the end now. Explosive traps, and this into crushing walls, or more of this, which I don't think I need more of that, or this. These would be spells. Deal 2 damage and 1 to the adjacent ones. No, I don't want to be limited to minions when I could do this.
Candlebeard thinks finding buried treasure makes Kobold a pirate.
So, the creators of Star Control, Fred Ford and Paul Reich III, have made a statement claiming that they are in legal conflict with Stardock, accusing the game and software development company of publishing their earlier games without permission.
Let the hunt begin.
Stardock acquired Atari's rights for the Star Control IP at a bankruptcy auction back in 2013. And see, right there is what I'm talking about. When that bankruptcy occurred, those games and licenses should have gone into the public domain. That's what should have happened. Instead of it just being up at auction, so that the people who invested in the previous version of Atari get some of their money back. But investing in a company is effectively gambling, and you should lose if that company goes bankrupt completely, because that's the whole thing that people don't want to realize is investments in the stock market, investing in an individual company, investing in a portfolio, it's all still gambling. It's always putting your money in a company and hoping they will make more money and pay you back. And we should not have a society so built around gambling, particularly one hiding the fact that it is so built around gambling. Let's see, moving on with this story though instead of my own rant. President and CEO of Stardock, Brad Wardell, responded to the duo's claim, saying, "For the entirety of the time, we have held the rights. They have been getting paid for those sales. If they had an objection to the games being sold, this is something that could and should have been addressed before we were ever involved." So now the response Stardock is saying is that the old Atari wasn't paying them, not the new Atari. Therefore, it's not our need or prerogative to have to go back and pay back funds, which is slightly true, but if that's exactly how it went down. The post by Elder goes on to say that many assets were transferred to us, including the various publishing agreements to the Star Control franchise. The short version is that the classic IP is messy. In response to the accusations, digital distributor Good Old Games has announced it will remove Star Control 1 and 2 and 3 from its storefront on Tuesday, December 5th. Okay. Let's see, will this guy die? I think he would, so do that. Secret before I play this card, and I need another turn, so
My shield for Argon.
So yeah, that's a messy situation. So many articles still open. Fortnite sort of dropped the charges against the kid in the sense that they filed an injunction. They agreed to file an injunction with him for $5,000 that he'd never cheat again, and if he did, he would pay $5,000. I don't believe this is a scenario where he actually had to pay that much money. I believe this is a scenario where if he cheats again, he'd have to pay $5,000. And I'm not 100% sure if that's the case. Still, that's really, really bad press and just mean for them to do. I guess I want to play this. I'm done. Can't be targeted by heroes and spells. Darn it. I am gonna lose at this rate. I need to play this, and this, and this, and that's not all gonna work, so. That's this. And this and this, and kill this one, and attack this one. Actually, I should kill one of these guys.
Pick a card. Any card.
What lurks in the depths?
Moving on with the news. Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria Simulator is free, and not what it seems like because it's a Five Nights at Freddy's continuation in that genre. Maybe not in the genre, but from the same creator and the same world. Nice animation there.
I hunt alone.
I could have not attacked him. That's what happened there. The fact that he gets charged after a minute is killing me. Darkest Dungeon, The Color of Madness, DLC is due spring
It's okay.
2018.
Better to be dying young than to never be dying at all.
No victory for that. That was a long run. I thought we might go all the way,
Hoisted by your own petard, are you?
but nope. Let's just keep playing. I may end this dungeon run early because I'm running out of steam and I want to just move forward. Let's try Druid. Let's see. Girls in Panzer Dream Machine adds early purchase bonus of the Anglerfish Team Winter uniforms. This Girls in Panzer is a game based on an anime that's kind of popular right now with girls driving around tanks.
I must protect the wild.
It's, I don't think, a very good anime, but it's somehow popular. Black Clover Project Knights announced for PS4 and PC. More information is due out December 18th. Black Clover being another anime-based game. Let's see. Gal Metal launches February 8th in Japan. It's a rhythm game where girls playing heavy metal.
Job's done.
I think it's coming to the Switch. too. Yeah, it's for the Switch. Interesting. PC Gamer has another article about Dauntless. They're clearly trying to do something there. Let's see. How'd I end up on somebody's LinkedIn page?
Job's done.
That's a weird one. See, I think we've already talked about the game Death End Request, and so they just have some more detail out there. Still not 100% sure what this game is and what kind of game it is. It's coming out for the PS4 in Japan on March 1st. So, might be visual novel, might be any number of things. To your opponent's hand. Let's see. So many pages. So here's that same article about the $5,000 injunction. Rephrase, Fortnite player promises to cheat no more in lawsuit with Epic. And it's like, okay. Let's see. Do this. And that. EVE Online has an arms race update that it dramatically expands the free-to-play options. EVE Online being too complicated again to really cover for me. I'll just leave it at that. And see, here's the problem. I still have 10 more victories I need to do some point this weekend. I'm gonna be playing all this weekend, regardless of whether I wanted to or not. And see, doubling my death rattles does nothing. Spells maybe is a good idea, or make the enemies cost more. Enemies cost more is probably the better move. Cthulhu and Cthulhu, 2 Cthulhu's not really worth it. This is probably the one I'm taking. Yeah. And let's keep playing. So many pages.
Malfurion versus
The number of
Warcraft.
VAC bans on Steam spiked a lot.
I must
One
protect
day.
the wild.
Over 500,000 VAC bans at one point. So they implemented some detector for some cheating, or maybe a bug that incorrectly VAC banned people. But I haven't heard a lot of instances of people unfairly being banned from Valve. So I imagine they just figured out a new way people were cheating and caught a bunch of people. Let's see, here's an update to the streamer who pretended like he was playing UFC video game but was actually just showing the UFC fight illegally on Twitch. He was handed a 24-hour ban, which that does not look good for Twitch. And honestly, that shows complacency and a lack of ethics that is going to get all of Amazon and Twitch all of Amazon and Twitch shut down. And as a YouTuber, I don't want that because I like the competition. Twitch has clearly made YouTube a better service in a few instances.
Armor made to fit.
There's a game on Steam called Player Unknown with a 1WN, friendly fire, which is just trying to be a rip-off of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, clearly.
I don't have enough mana.
2 hero plus 2. Okay, means death rattle. 2
I must safeguard the land.
There you go, 2 damage. Should put us within reaching distance of a victory. There's probably tons of these rip-off games on Steam, so be careful. Chris Lee, a U.S. lawmaker, he has laid out plans for an anti-loot box law, which, okay, we're going down that rabbit hole. Let's see if that works, or if this turns out to be a horrible thing. The aims to prohibit the sale of games with gambling mechanisms to anyone under 21. So if all of a sudden all of the games with loot boxes like Hearthstone were not available to people under 21, I think we would certainly see some major changes implemented. The thing, I guess, that would be slightly scary at that point is, could that kill things like Hearthstone? I don't have a clue which one I want to play here, so I'm just going to take this one. If all the base went away. Hearthstone would have to just do it, though, because there's no other way you make money on Hearthstone. You would either have to say everybody who owns the game now has to pay $60, or you make it 21 and you lose all of the little kids that play Hearthstone.
Claim these treasures for the light.
Sony has launched in-game PlayStation VR trial program. 14-day in-home PlayStation trial to select a group of PlayStation Plus members. So it's not trials of the game, it's trials of PlayStation VR, the hardware. Interesting. So they send you the headset, PlayStation camera, 2 Move controllers, and Skyrim VR to try to get more people to want to play VR games on the PlayStation. Interesting idea. Who would bother after 14 days, though? That's too short. I barely would even play PlayStation VR in 4 days, so I wouldn't feel confident. So I'd probably send it back and go, oh no. Or I'd probably maybe be lazy. I imagine some people would be lazy and just keep it uncertain of their purchase. So the new Valve game, Bridge Constructor Portal, basically the Bridge Constructor video game. Company licensed Portal to skin over pretty much their existing game. It looks cool and all, but it's rather an unfortunate move, I think, in Valve's case.
I must safeguard the land.
Because it just kind of rubs salt in the wound that there isn't any Portal 30 really in development or ever coming out. Apparently there was a company called Nice Hash that was hacked and as many as $60 million in bitcoins was stolen, which I really have this thought that a lot of what Bitcoin is government agencies mining the bitcoins and creating false value, and this is more of more fraud than actuality as far as the value of bitcoins and the number that are out and actually in circulation. It might simply be a way, but cryptocurrency in general, some of them might simply be efforts to damage existing countries' societies by encouraging illegal activity and untraceable transactions. I know that seems a little totalitarian, but that might be the encouragement. A lot of people definitely do use Bitcoin for illegal activities. Not all of them. At the start of your turn, add a random mage spell to your hand. Can't attack, freeze any character that is damaged by this. Enemies, minions randomly chooses their side of the battlefield. For 0, that's not worth it. I'm gonna take this. And let's see. Still don't think we're quite to that point. I think I'll take these taunt ones. Increase longevity in these later games. Here's an article from PC Gamer: overlooked RPGs that are worth playing today. Alpha Protocol, King's Bounty, The Legend, Risen, Eric's Fatalis, Arcanium of Steamworks and Magicum Obscura, Neo Scavenger, Regalia of Man and Monarchs, Lisa, Receiver and Item Shop's Tale, Anachronics, Tokadin 2, Cosmic Stall Heroine, The Legend of Heroes, Trails of the Cold Steel, Avernium Escape from the Pit. Maybe I'll go back and look at some of these games and think about it, but RPGs, particularly older, forgotten RPGs, highly unlikely I'd ever have time for that. Let's see. There's a sandbox RPG called Dayland, D-E-I-L-I-N-D. This might just be another ad. Inspired by Stardew Valley and Final Fantasy. Let's see what the trailer looks like. Well, I'm still trying to get victories here. It seems almost like Mario Galaxy. You're on this small planet and you're building things, and I'm not sure you're really fighting. This actually looks very interesting. Although it does have that farming aspect, and I'm not sure I can put up with farming. Pretty sure I can't. We already talked about that one. I already mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. Sliding volatile value. Steam has dropped Bitcoin support. A lot of cryptocurrency talk, oddly, today. So I'm a random one-cost menu.
Job's done.
Let's see, Call of Duty World War II's next seasonal event is appropriately Snow Spectrum. It's called Winter Siege. Okay, good to know. Here's more information about Unavowed, but I don't think there's an article or anything. It's just a bunch of pictures. Start of your turn. Steal 2 damage or something.
I must safeguard the land.
This is the one that does the cavern below, so I have to be really quick to do damage to him. Ended up on OBS's webpage. Open podcast software. If there's a new version or something, I guess I'll just get the updates. Streets of Rage, an old brawler, is now available on mobile with local crossplay multiplayer. It's an old Sega game, I believe.
Out of my jungle!
Let's see. Take another one of these.
Beetle berries, my favorite.
Feel nature's wrath.
So yeah, if you have some great nostalgia for Streets of Rage, it's out there. Next week will be so much better. And so much less kind of pointless news. Let's see. Taunt.
Out of my jungle!
This one.
Feel nature's wrath.
Try one.
Could have killed this guy, I suppose.
Job's done.
And I still have the same number of tabs.
I'm in charge.
There's a game called Past Cure. It's a John Wick inspired psychological action game from a tiny indie team. Let's see. Let's see the trailer. Like, is John Wick a style of game now? Like, a style of action? Because I think I would describe this game as something slightly different. It's just a first-person shooter with a time slowdown mechanics.
Where
Charge.
shall I strike?
Do I have enough to win? No. This. This. And this.
For the wild.
This. In the turn. Is this game on Steam, though? Doesn't seem like it. Seems like you can only get it from the website. See, it's 35% action, 15% stealth, 30% thriller, 20% horror, and I'm not sure that all matches to 100%, but it might. The only thing that really looks wrong with this game is the graphics are a little bad. It might be a cell phone game, but I don't know. So I'll see if that's on Steam. Otherwise, whatever. So I can do 4 damage right now. I need a way to do.
Truth is my shield.
4 damage.
For the wild.
Job's done.
See, 1. Good and Evil 2 had a live stream. I guess if there was anything said there, it would have been recorded. The creator of Horror Story is leading a new interactive series based on 1983's War Games. I don't know if it's actually a video game though, or is it a more interactive thing? Oh, I've got it. I don't have it. To shape the story. To MGM detail, I don't know.
It's too bad for you. When adventurer dies, Cobalt King is getting all the loot.
Now, let's see what you had. Really? You actually chose these cards.
Barlow is also working on a new game called Telling Lies, which is a spiritual follow-up to her story. But this interactive thing, I think, is just a Eco, best known for its proprietary live-action medium that allows viewers to shape their worlds. EKO. So this is some new video interactive site. Interesting. Well, I'm never gonna bother to watch that. Wow, we're about 45 minutes over. And we've got 2 packs open. Let's open these. Let's move over to the European thing, and I think I might just leave the rest of the news open too, and just move on to a post show. We've been going long enough. Apparently, if you log in now, you'll get 3 packs for goblins, kobolds, and catacombs. I probably already got them.
You're back! Come tell us a story or two.
There's an article just asking what they, from PC Gamer, what they want in the next Deus Ex game. So that's not really anything. Life is Strange Before the Storm's final episode has a release date. Just before Christmas on December 20th. Let's see, Gamitsu. Dragon Crown Pro is coming to the West in 2018. I'm interested in that. So I need to, on this account, win 3 mage games and play things that cost more. Actually, I can probably trade something out. Nope. And I've got cards to open. Now I have cards to open, I don't know, but I'll do it. Seriously doubt I'll get a legendary or even an epic on any of these little card packs. And see, that's the thing, if you don't buy 50 card packs, you have a very low chance of ever getting a legendary or an epic. Let's get into like 1 mage game, and then I think we're going into the post show. Just play. Let's drag it. It's launched for the PlayStation 4 in the US and Americas for $50. That's great. Unfortunately, it's still not coming to PC, and that's really what I needed to be. Superhot has a standalone expansion called Mind Control Delete that's out tomorrow on Steam Early Access.
You asked for it.
So that's slightly interesting. There's a game called Iconoclast. I think I already covered that one. That's for the PS Vita, PlayStation 4, and PC on January 23rd. Yeah, Iconoclast. Let's see.
Someone call for the doctor.
Netflix is creating a choose-your-own adventure show for adults. Let's play this. We won't see anything as far as a final product for a while. We already talked about that. The World of Warcraft's top guilds are locked in the Savage Raids to beat its latest raids. That was 2 days ago, so very possible that they are no longer locked in the Savage Battle because they've done it. World of Warcraft's best guilds are racing to kill Argus, the final boss of the Legion. An action-adventure game called Vesta is coming to the PlayStation 4 for $15 on December 26th in Asia. It may not be coming to the West. Man, this is kind of dull, low energy, if I have to say it myself, covering all of this news.
Speak your piece.
Oh, if you're sure.
Memories Off Innocent Files launches March 29th in Japan. This looks like a visual novel.
One shot,
What a
are you, master?
This guy's letting me win.
Oh, if you're sure.
Let's see. Code Vein has some more details to show off. Not that interesting stuff. You can now get a free demo of the game Figment on Steam.
The gates are open.
I don't know if I should really report about things just being releasing demos. Honestly. We already talked about that. How can we...
What a bother.
This way.
Let's see, a game called Arcana Heart 3 Love Max 6 stars. That's a mouthful. It's coming out to PC on December 12th. That's a looks like a fighting game. I think I'm gonna try more fighting games and then find out I'm not very good at them. I guess we'll play another mage game while we're here. Still trying to close all of these tabs. And I have like a ton of them still.
Versus Garrosh.
Just
Victory or death!
You asked for it.
and finally we are now to the Humble Store tab, which tells me for the most part I have covered everything. Maybe I skipped a tab or two. I've left so many tabs still open because of games I want to go add to the Steam wish list or look out in more detail in it. So I guess I have been in the past couple of weeks complaining about there not being any new games. So at least in this instance there have been new games. So the Humble Bundle store right now, I'm looking at the Yards Cast Jingle Jam, and the thing is, more games are revealed every day. So going backwards, there's NASCAR Heat 2, Scanner Sombre, the Awesome Knots Yards Cast Pack, Neverwinter Feywild, Creation of Lost Idols, Idol Champion, Idol Champions of the Forgotten Realm, Star Trek Online, Bridge Officers Pack. Some of these aren't completely games, and they're parts of games. This is a really big bundle of things. Gangs of Space Jungle, Ancient Planet, Black Storm, Warhammer Vermintide 2 Beta Access, 25% off a game. Let's see, Dreaming Sarah, Chivalry. I'm gonna skip some of these. There's a lot of games here, but after the first day, the games you might actually want are seemingly getting fewer and fewer.
Speak your peace.
Let's see.
Excuse me, you are on fire.
Give it a shot.
Oh, if you're sure.
So, I am not certain that this is really worth it. The day 9 haven't been revealed.
For the king!
So there's still a lot. Like, still a lot that could be revealed as far as games, but they're not really catching my attention.
An incredible discovery!
Nice to meet you.
Of course, I'm just playing against a bunch of
I'll give it a shot.
really low-ranked players. They're probably new to the game, so I'm getting easy victories. Let's see, is there another games bundle going on right now?
Yes.
Well, the Codemaster Racing bundle is on right now, but that's it. So then I can go back to Twitter and stupidly open up Twitter again and start.
What a bother.
I want to cast a spell.
Right away.
I'll give it a shot.
Oh, if you're sure. I found it first.
I'm gonna leave the mirror entity. So, there we go. Hey everyone from YouTube, Team YouTube, we're fixing an issue with comments, some new comments and corresponding notifications, so delayed. We'll send another update soon. And that's not very related. Vine 2 official first 2,500 retweets gain secret access to Vine 2 beta. Okay. So, do I want to be a Vine star? To a Vine 2.
Once upon a time.
Are you my master?
Someone called for the doctor.
Spells are fun. So fun.
If you're gonna have a limited result, a limited test of only 2,500 people, I seriously doubt that you would not filter more than just random people on Twitter.
Well,
and oddly, looking up my Twitter account too, it doesn't seem like there's any more news. So I am ready to go into the post show. It's been an exhausting stream. I knew it was going to be a long one. There's still a lot of stuff to do. I'm not seeing anything here on Twitter that needs to be even looked at or talked about. Yeah, we're into the end of the week, and so that's fine. I would give myself a failing grade for this stream. I feel tired and exhausted because I am tired and exhausted, and I feel like I've mostly covered the news in a rather tired and exhausted way. People always accuse me of sounding tired in the first place, so if I think I sound tired, I'm probably pretty awful. Anyways, in the post show, we've got so much more to do. I need to beat 7 more dungeon bosses here, probably 5 more dungeon bosses on the European account. I need to get 1 more mage thing. I need to play 16 more characters that cost 5 or more. Yeah, that is a lot of work. Definitely a lot of work. So let's just wrap up and go to the post show. I hope somebody enjoyed this. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.